What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. So Brian Woods, the founder of the Spring League, had the ties with the USFL, is introducing a new football league, the Super Prep League. And this league is going to be 12 teams dedicated to spring football, trying to recruit 4 and 5 stars, some of the best high school talent in the nation, to come play with these teams with the option to collect on that NIL. You know, we know brands are coming and tapping in with these young athletes in high school, and this league would give them a chance to work with those partners. But we really got to dive into what this could mean for them keeping their amateur status in high school ranks, and just how this league could impact high school in general. It's only 6 weeks, so, not so grueling. They're going to run practice like NFL minicamp style, so not a whole lot of hitting to give them a chance to recuperate. But we're talking about something that could be monumental here. And the fact that it's another outlet competing with high school football. We've never seen anything like this before. Let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
So On3 reports that the teams would be in Atlanta, Cleveland, Dallas, Houston, New Jersey, New Orleans, Los Angeles, Miami, Phoenix, San Diego, San Francisco, and Tampa. Prospects will play in an 11-on-11 format over 6 weeks. That's how long the season would be. It would be called the Prep Super League, and they would follow college football rules. And they have started to discuss coaching positions with former FBS and NFL head coaches. And we mentioned the league will also have less restrictive NIL policies, allowing athletes to profit from their publicity rights. Ding, ding, ding. Now that right there, with so many athletes having the following that they do, the hundreds of thousands, the millions of followers on social media. And in this same article that I got this information from on On3, it talks about how athletes that they talk to have experienced brands coming up to them. And me personally, having a whole lot of high profile athletes on my podcast, it's a thing where, colleges are offering NIL. It's a part of the recruitment process. Kids are becoming millionaires. And this is a time in sports that we've never seen before, like flat out. I'm going to just say it. It's unprecedented. Now, I've had athletes, I've had coaches on the show, the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast, to discuss this very issue multiple times about how players could cash in, life-changing money, and not everybody's guaranteed to go pro. You could have a big following now. You could easily peak in high school, peak in college, but peak in high school and get this money now. And hey, make some money that you never had. That is one way of looking at it. An opportunity to really make some money, change your family's destiny, their fortune, invest that money, and, start anything, a business, a foundation. Like, the money could go a long ways, and it could lead to more and more. We're seeing it with athletes like Angel Reese in the women's college basketball game that has just taken the nation by storm. I mean, she was just in Cardi B's last video. It's getting crazy. These college athletes are getting to the bag flat out, and businesses, as we're seeing, are throwing big bucks at these players for their name, likeness, and image, man. We're seeing it with the new NCAA game coming out. College players trying to get paid. And we're seeing it in multiple states. I think there's like 27 states, 29 states or something like that, in between that range, that, allow potential NIL, some sort of, thing they got worked out, some sort of law bystanders that they got, where players can, make a little extra. And I think, too, it could help with just local players. If you're a big-time player in one of these cities that we named in New Jersey, a company is going to want to work with you. A local mom-and-pop shop is going to want to name a sandwich after you or do whatever they do, and you can profit from that. It doesn't have to be a national thing. It could be local in Atlanta and like these other cities where they're obviously targeting cities, Tampa Bay. They're targeting cities with one big populations that are freaking nuts about football, and that are talent rich in youth football, in high school football, and prep football, where some of the top players are coming out in the recruitment cycles year after year after year. They're looking at these places, and with the demand and the media attention, I mean, we've seen overtime an example of them laying things out, getting the TV deal with Amazon. Like, that is the blueprint. That is another element of sports where people are interested and they're landing these deals. And that's the same thing, they got to be looking at that too. Now, they mentioned that the prep league will have, their own plus, their own app to access the games, but they got to be thinking TV deal too. You got to be in that situation. And I like the fact that they're talking about running practices like an NFL mini camp, because you don't want too much wear and tear on the bodies. But my question is, how does this impact 7-on-7s? I think it depends on when they do, because they haven't started talking to players directly yet. So I think it'll depend on that as well. They say they're not trying to become like an IMG Academy or nothing like that. This is a legit league. And I don't know, man. I think, maybe they are able to get some top prospects. I don't know. I think I don't know. I'm not going to say it'll be tough. I think it'll be tough to persuade some of these young guys to play 2 seasons that involve tackling, especially with the development of 7-on-7 football right now and what's going on with that. All these pro players have teams and travel organizations, and these guys are getting great exposure playing 7-on-7. So this is a different element. What I do like, though, is that they have scheduled this around the NCAA recruiting period. So for some lesser known guys, this could be a perfect opportunity to get some extra games in and get some spotlight on them, get that exposure, to get some scholarship offers if this league doesn't, get in the way of that. I think it could be great for exposure, though, for guys that may be looking for scholarship offers. I don't think it would affect their college aspirations, but the tricky thing is what it would mean for high school football and the different boards around America that govern these states, these state athletic boards, and how it goes with that. Can you play high school football? Because the way they're trying to set it up is that the student would remain at their home school and they would just go to practices weekly for the team during the season and around the season. So our high schools, are the associations, I know in the past in states that I've covered sports in, they ain't too formidable with change. They ain't too forward thinking. They like to keep things as is unless it's absolutely mandatory. And having a league that could potentially take players away from their league for an amount of time, or expose their league to, or expose their players to another untraditional outlet of exposure, potential injury. I mean, every player have to have insurance. Like, there's just a lot of things that could go wrong. Like, I don't see athletic directors or athletic boards around any states really getting behind this. So if it comes to a situation where they have to choose between playing for their high school and playing for this prep league, I think we know what majority of them are going to sway which direction. So, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see when they do start talking to players. If they get some really good coaches behind this thing, some big names, they could attract some top talent. Who knows? And I think a really good idea, like we mentioned before, is them catering the season around to where these college coaches are going to be actively looking to recruit and on these trips and on the road and monitoring these different states and 7-on-7s. Now you have live 11-on-11 tackle football to look at a prospect a good 1, 2, 3 extra times, over this 6-week season. So we'll see, man. More updates. The league isn't coming until 2024, so I'm sure we'll have more updates over the next year, and what kind of timeline they have for kicking this thing off and naming the teams and reaching out to the players and everything. So America loves football. Somebody will watch it. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's your boy, Brandon Blakeney. This has been Live with Brandon Blakeney, and we out.